Are you ready to take your investment game to the next level? Introducing Digital Investor, your ultimate guide to mastering the digital marketplace. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, Digital Investor brings you cutting-edge game theoretical strategies, expert insights, and real-time tips and tactics to analyze, evaluate, invest, and grow your wealth. Don't miss out on the digital revolution. Visit www.nickblacknext.com and start your journey with Digital Investor today.
Brandon!
Yo, yo!
What's going on?
Well, it's another day. Another day.
Do we have any cleanup, any housekeeping we need to sort out?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it looks like it's another Bitcoin show day. We'll talk about that, huh? But
Yep.
Bitcoin steals the show again. What do you know?
Yep.
Bitcoin always is king. Now, I've said this once. I'll say it again. And this is fine. This is fine. But here's the deal now. Here's the deal going forward. If you do use Metamask portfolio, I will not help you. From that point forward, I will not even answer your email.
Why is anybody using that?
I don't know. I've told people 100,000 times not to use Metamask portfolio. So whenever they're having troubles or their tokens disappear or their balances aren't reading correctly or they can't connect the node market, I find out ultimately they're in Metamask portfolio, dinking around in there. And I've told people 100 times not to use Metamask portfolio. Anyway, that's it. That's easy. Sorry, I don't mean to start out negatively, but we'll switch this positively coming up here soon.
That's gosh,
I'm negative.
At a certain point, dummy's gonna dummy. It ain't just meme coins, people.
Oh, let's just put that in the chat so we know that anybody coming will read that as well. Never use Metamask portfolio. Now, let me ask you a question, Nick.
Yeah.
Let me ask you one question because you might know the difference because a lot of people have not understood this yet. Is Metamask and Metamask portfolio the same thing?
In the same way that Coinbase and Coinbase Wallet are the same thing.
Ah, yes, that's so true. I use Coinbase, but I don't touch Coinbase Wallet. Why would I touch Coinbase Wallet? Okay.
The portfolio feature is just a separate weirdness. I don't know.
It's a whole different dApp. It's a whole different dApp. So what Metamask has tried to do is create this little cool portfolio page that is useless. And then people think they're using Metamask, but they're not.
Yeah, I think it's a product that was built on the side, and it's their hack job version of something that might eventually become OpenSea, but it won't.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see that again? That OpenSea registered
in the Caymans.
Yeah, where you register when you're going to launch a bullshit token.
I sure hope so. Although I went and looked, I don't have as much volume on OpenSea as I had hoped. I thought I traded more on OpenSea. I guess so. I used other platforms because the fee on OpenSea is 2.5%. On Blur, it's 0.5%. So,
and also, who knows how far is that back? Is that going to go? Is that going to go back?
Yeah,
to
they don't.
They're not going to count 2021 when we were crushing it.
They don't. Yeah, they might not. They might do not. They might only count even the pro users on OpenSea Pro, which would be whatever. Although, hey, I did want to tell you, your blue airdrop did double, so it might almost be worth claiming pretty soon here. So we'll see.
Which one?
Well, you got one for being a what do they call it? Top 10,000 jupe staker. You got 500 bluefin, which at the time when I talked about it last week was only worth $100. Now it's worth $200. I still haven't claimed mine yet.
How did we get it, or we don't have it yet?
No, you can get it now. You got to go connect your wallet to Bluefin, connect your Sui wallet to Bluefin, and then do a transfer. It's like really, I could show you guys.
I'm not doing it.
I know. That's why I haven't done it yet. Because it's like, it's way too many steps for an quote unquote airdrop, that I'm like, I don't know.
Terrence, no airdrops in MetaMask are safe. I want to say this clearly. None. Never. Don't click on it. Don't even look at it. Just ignore it. There are 0 airdrops in MetaMask that are safe. Those are usually the beginning of a phishing scam or some other kind of, it's a scam. Or it's some dumpster diving project. Stay away from it. Stay away from any airdrop into MetaMask, period.
Yeah.
Because how discerning are they being if they're just sending to random MetaMask, just to MetaMask in general?
Yeah.
Oh, everybody in Web3, here's a free token. No, it's a scam.
Yeah, it's a scam, guys. Scam.
Yeah, just don't trust any. I mean, airdrop season is dangerous. A lot of people are like, yeah, we get airdrops, and most people not most people, but a lot of people get scammed because you get in the habit of like, oh, click here, connect here, click this button to, oh shit, all my stuff's gone.
Even that Bluefin one, I know it's legit, but I still don't like connecting a bunch of wallets to a weird dApp that I've never used before. So I always, even on like any like legit airdrop, I let people test it 100 times over before I even touch it. So that's just standard.
I mean, if it's not like real money, I'm not.
Yeah.
Like, would you run out in front of a cement mixer for $100 bill?
No.
No,
you would not.
No, my friend. Let's see. Curious why gas was low this weekend despite BTC. Because, well, Denny, when you're doing Bitcoin transactions, it's not touching the Ethereum network. And when Bitcoin is in the highlight, when Bitcoin's the big show, people are less trading altcoins, less trading ERC20 assets and things like that. So you can get that because they slosh back and forth, is what I would say. Okay, let me cover this news because it's pretty interesting. Some of the recent Bitcoin run is a little bit of Trump talking, which is good because he's still on board. It wasn't just I don't think this was just a tactic to get elected. I think he's a crypto guy now.
You saw his World Liberty, they doubled their Ethereum stash, right? So they used some USDC and they doubled their Ethereum.
10 million in Ethereum.
And then they have they purchased Chainlink and
which I thought that was weird. That most likely that's because Sergey and those other douchebags contributed to the campaign.
Yeah.
Which, okay, a little quid pro quo, that's fine.
Yeah.
So let's talk Trump for a second. So Trump confirms plans for the strategic Bitcoin reserve.
Yeah.
And again, it's not clear how exactly they would set this up. That part's not been ironed out. But the fact is he could force people to build it. He could kind of force people to build it because this is something that they're not going to get a lot of pushback. The only thing you get is you get guys like Peter Schiff and all these kind of guys going, that won't solve the debt. Yeah, no shit. This one thing won't solve 50 years of really bad governance. No, it won't solve that, but it might help. That's the whole thing. It's the same argument that Peter Schiff uses against holding Bitcoin in the strategic reserve is the same is the opposite argument that you would use to hold gold in it. Like, why do we have gold reserves? Well, because it's gold. It's people like it so much, and it's like, go on. Is it transferable, transportable, divisible? No, not really. Cool. All right. Is it unique? Is there a capped limit to it? No, none of those things. Great. And is it fucking floating through space in the 100 million ton range every 13 seconds across the night sky? Well, yes, actually, it's not at all rare in the universe. It's actually it's one of the more fucking common things in the universe, actually. So, like,
yes,
And they're discovering gold veins all the time. And the gold price is
You saw
hugely,
El Salvador found like $3 trillion worth last week.
hugely manipulated because the gold miners go and they look at the price, and what they do is they scale. Okay, like if it's $100 to get an ounce of gold out of the ground, they don't scale all the way up to where they're getting all the gold out of the ground. These miners, kind of like the oil companies, they like gold within a range, because then they can slowly sell their gold, and they can slowly, push the price up. Like, it's common sense. It's not a manufactured price. It's a managed price. It's the same thing with oil. It's managed. Oil's really good in kind of ranges. It gets too expensive at a certain point, and economies grind to a halt. It gets too cheap, and that means that basically you're in some kind of goddamn dystopian, depressionary nightmare. So, but in that kind of like range, it's fine. That's the same thing the way gold is. Silver's a little different because silver is an industrial metal that has a lot of industrial purposes, like solvents and so anyway, silver is a little bit different animal, but gold specifically is kind of its own managed price asset with very little institutional use. Anyway, but that's the same arguments that you could make. You could make the same arguments other than all the cool things about Bitcoin. You could say that Bitcoin's only cool to a few people. And yeah, okay, cool. But most appreciating asset in human history, and even today. And so it seems like if some Bitcoin in a reserve helps, then that's the whole point of where you would put your treasury reserve. You want to put some assets in a basket that are not pegged to the whims of your currency. That's why other countries hold treasuries and hold US dollars, right? Like that's the whole point. So it should seem like common sense. And I get why the gold guys are mad. They're worried about countries buying less, mostly useless gold and starting to put on Bitcoin. But I don't think it would be a horrible world if there was equal portions, gold and Bitcoin, in the treasury of every government on earth. I don't feel like that's a bad thing. Anyway, some people do.
I think there's a lot of rumors saying that he's going to do the executive order, right? The same thing that they used back in the day. What do you think? I have a clip on that. Hold on a second.
He's exploring it. This was Dennis Porter said, I can confirm that Trump is exploring an executive order creating a strategic Bitcoin reserve. The Treasury, through the Exchange Stabilization Fund, has the authority to stabilize the dollar by buying currencies. Trump would use this fund to buy Bitcoin. He could do that. I mean, that could be done. That could be done without asking permission, right?
Yeah.
So according to Forbes, he's exploring this bold plan to create the strategic Bitcoin reserve. The Russians have already said they're doing it. They're not even planning; they're doing it, which I think is pretty cool, and I think means more than people realize.
I think Japan's doing it too, right?
But Russia.
Russia.
Look at all the trade partners. Russia is a huge oil exporter.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. This could be pretty cool. Anyway, could be a game changer for the U.S. economy. Experts are even predicting this could send Bitcoin's price. This is written wrong. Bitcoin's market cap to 15 trillion, which, again, that's not crazy. That's just equaling out gold. So all the things, soaring to equal gold. Okay, well, it should equal gold. I mean, it
should equal gold. It's more rare. It's more, it should be greater than gold. It's more rare. There's less supply, and it's not infinite supply, I guess, because gold's basically an infinite supply token.
That's right.
When Elon starts mining from space and dropping gold on your head.
I mean, it's just, gold is just not that. It's not even that rare here. Yeah. You know what else is not rare? I bet you guys don't know this. Diamonds. Not at all rare. I mean, not at all. There was companies that they find these big giant these islands like off the coast of South Africa and stuff there's so many diamonds you can put your hand in the beach sand and just pull up diamonds. Like that's so they concrete over them and they have 24-hour security like boats and everything because they know it would just destroy the market. The Russians, they fill boxcars full of diamonds and bury them and cement them every year. I mean, thousands. There is fucking nothing. Diamonds are as rare as grass on your lawn.
Oh
That's how rare they are. It is a completely this is a manufactured market.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
I believe that. Like, who?
Completely manufactured. And then who sets the prices? The pawnbrokers. There's a thing called the Rappaport sheet, the RAP sheet in diamond. Anybody's in the diamond business, you get the RAP sheet every 2 months, and it tells you what everything is worth. It goes by the color, the cut, the clarity, the grade, like everything. And you read it like a chart. Like, okay, this is a VS2. It's a white. It's a pillow. Okay, it's worth this per carat. And then it even goes up to like, okay, 1.9 carats, 1.99 carats. Okay, at 2 carats, because 2 carats is worth way more than 1.9 carats, just because it's the whole number. Anyway, completely manufactured. Like, they print the prices and send them out in the pawnbrokers. Like it used to go out in the pawnbrokers guide every couple of months, and that was it. That was the RAP sheet, and everybody at every refinery, every gold place, every jeweler had a little folded over pink, like kind of cardboard sheet. And you say, "What's that?" "Oh, that's the RAP sheet. Those are the wholesale prices of diamonds." So completely fake.
Because they say so. That's the price. Because you say so.
Because one guy says so, or like a small group. Then when you're trying to buy diamonds in bulk, you go to these things and they give you the diamonds. You don't get to choose them. Like Cartier goes to them, Tiffany goes to them. They have these big diamond sales. It's no longer called a cartel, but the De Beers Consortium or whatever. And you say, okay, I have $197,000 to spend. And they're like, okay, cool. Here's your $197,000 worth of stones. And it's just all over the place. And that's it. You don't get to choose. That's why when you look at Cartier and a lot of these jewelers, they have pieces and there's like no 2 pieces are the same. And that's not a marketing thing. Sometimes they're not the same because they can't get enough stones to make a set of the same. Now, the little bitty stones, the milli, you can get that all day, right? The milli stones, the little 5-pointers, the 10-pointers, all that. You can get that all day. It's everything over about a little bit less than half a carat. Everything after that, it's so random. And again, they do that just to keep everybody like, whoa. Manufactured, completely manipulated fake market. At least there is clarity in Bitcoin. And that's the one thing is like, it's clear. And so, and for people that are like, I don't like Bitcoin because I can't hold it and touch it. Okay, well then it's not for you, Gramps. Take your fucking dentures out and go watch CSI Miami. And which I kind of like that one, except that guy was very intense. The red-haired guy. Remember him?
Never watched it.
CSI Miami was cool. They were all cool dressed. And he always had like cool statements. He'd always do like that look. David Caruso. You're
David? Don't know.
Yeah, that guy was a real dick. Anyway,
Never watched it. For
those of you who don't know, the strategic Bitcoin reserve idea is that the government would buy over a 5-year period 1 million Bitcoin. At least this is the current iteration of it. 1 million Bitcoin. That much buying pressure would do a couple of things. One, it would just be constant buying pressure on the market. The other thing is it would force a lot of local governments, state governments, banks, municipalities, funds, pension funds, hedge funds, and what is in between countries? What is it? Not principalities. They would all kind of be forced in because they're like, well, the U.S. is going to be buying on a regular basis. We should probably hold some in reserve. And so it becomes kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you look at gold, there's a couple of big moments. And also, if people follow gold closely, when they had when gold was mostly a controlled asset, you had the whole situation in the 50s, and then you had the unwind in the 70s. But gold had already unwound way before that. Nixon taking the U.S. off the gold standard didn't really change much. There wasn't really a gold standard. There were separate prices. There was the trade-in, the desk price, and then there was the out in the streets price of gold. There was always several. So this kind of thing doesn't work, and it doesn't work. Robert Triffin talked about this, Triffin's dilemma, right? Like you can't, without running bigger and bigger and bigger budget deficits, you can't manage a currency for your country and also the world's reserve currency without continually creating currency units into existence. You have to follow the populace, right? Like if there's more babies being born, there's more humans. Eventually those humans will enter the workforce. You have to expand the currency supply. And you can't do that if you're pegged to an asset that has a fixed supply. This is not that. A Bitcoin reserve isn't about pegging the dollar. So people get that wrong. Oh, they're going to peg the dollar to the Bitcoin. No, that's not what this is. It is an asset that continues to appreciate based on all of the stupidity around the world. And since everybody basically knows that will never stop, then it makes sense to help alleviate some of that stress by buying a hedge against that. So Bitcoin to me is a hedge against all this fucking government stupidity, which equals printing, right? And this is a good way to maybe offset some of that pain. You might say, well, wait a minute. Doesn't that mean that eventually the government would have to sell some of it? Not exactly. There's all sorts of ways the government could borrow their way out of these assets. Never underestimate bureaucrats' clever ways at not paying what they owe. So we'll see. I mean, what do you think? Do you think this happens day one, Brandon?
So January 20th? Boy, I don't know.
You think he'll drop the executive order on, the first day he's in the office?
I don't know. I think maybe it could happen. It could happen.
Okay, then the next question is, do you think people think he will?
The poly market bet is not good. It's 30%. So that's people don't think he will, apparently.
Well, I think if that means 1 in 3 people do think he will.
Correct.
That's a lot.
1 in 3 crypto degens think.
I mean, I would give it 1 in 10.
It's 1.
I think it'll happen. I think it'll happen the first 10 days.
Okay, then you should take this bet. Well, like right now, you get 3-to-1 odds on your bet, right?
It's for how much time?
100 days. First 100 days.
Oh, it's happening. It's happening in the first 100 days.
Why is the bet so low? It is low. I mean, this does look like a good.
If they think this is but they realize, people on Polymarket realize he's no longer campaigning, right? Like, you guys get that. It's like, it's just talking. He's been elected. He's already been elected. If he was going to dump all this, he'd have already dumped all this. There's a reason
I know. It's like,
he keeps saying this. So,
right. So good bet.
Forbes predicts that this would push the market cap to 15 trillion. This guy at a 15 trillion market cap imagines the price of Bitcoin at somewhere around 740,000 a coin.
Hoi.
Now you go, okay, cool, but that's after a 5-year period. Yes, but that would mean that's if this was the only buying pressure added to the current market and no one else came in.
So basically, Russia's not coming in competing, Japan's not competing, El Salvador stops buying, Microstrategy stops buying. Yeah, not going to happen.
That's the thing.
ETF stop buying.
Yeah, well, not only that, but look at all the states that are looking at raising their own funds.
Texas is like a country itself. I don't know if people realize how big Texas is, but it's like its economy is bigger than I think all but maybe 10 countries. Its own economy or something like that.
Brandon, did you know this? From the widest ends of Texas, end to end, is longer than New York to London.
Really?
Yep.
Just the equator.
And I've driven across that barren fucking wasteland.
That's crazy.
Okay,
That's crazy.
let's talk real quick. Peter Schiff. So Peter Schiff accuses Microsaylor and Microstrategy of Bitcoin market manipulation. Oh, Schiff accuses Microsaylor and Microstrategy of manipulating Bitcoin's price with their massive, predictable buying patterns. Oh, okay.
How's it manipulation when he said, I'm going to buy every week forever? I promise you I'm going to buy every week forever. And he keeps buying every week forever. But now it's manipulation.
So MicroStrategy bought over 423,650 Bitcoin in 2024, spending billions and creating a suspicious link between the purchase and BTC price surges. Yeah, of course. He's a psychopath running a Ponzi scheme. So, but that's not manipulation. Buying something and saying you're going to buy it's not manipulation. Manipulation is when you say nothing, you take out a bunch of options contracts against it, then you buy it up with a big pile of money, deuce your options, then you go short, then you sell your stash. That's manipulation. Upwards and to the right, that's not manipulation. Otherwise, the whole United States could be accused of manipulating the S&P 500. Why? Because of passive indexation funds that just simply buy. Every time money comes in, they buy these 17 things. Oh, that's market manipulation. Why? Every dollar that comes in, it gets spread out. With now, yes, it's a Ponzi scheme, but what he's talking about, this is why Schiff is such a jackass. He's got a good argument. Stick with the Ponzi scheme argument. That's the argument, and it's legit. This argument that, it's market manipulation. Okay, well then are you manipulating the market the other way by coming and shit talking every 13 seconds? Like, isn't that a form of, aren't you scaring investors?
I think it's more often than that.
He claims the company's Monday purchase announcements are a calculated move to push prices up and drive market hype. The relentless gold maximalist and Bitcoin hater has set his sights on Microsaylor and the company Microstrategy, accusing them of manipulating the BTC price. The sharp allegations follow Bitcoin's right. Like, do you think this old nickel and dime ass mofo? Do you think anyone shivers when Peter Schiff's talking about them? This guy would get a warm glass of shut the F up anywhere he went. This guy, Peter Schiff, isn't he living like offshore somewhere outside of like the reach of like indictment? I remember he was doing an interview and the interviewer asked, hey, now about these indictments he's like, I'm not talking about this. And he threw his microphone off and walked off. Oh. Anyway, he points to MicroStrategy's recent buying spree. He said that the company's pattern of purchases is a calculated move to drive BTC prices higher. He said, most likely, this is a quote, we'll find out tomorrow that Saylor was the buyer. That seems to be the trend. It's happened the last 5 Mondays in a row. Okay. So I'm not going to read any more of this, just so you know that that's Peter Schiff's argument, and it's a flawed one. If you want the real argument, it's right there in what they're doing. So MicroStrategy bought another 15,350 Bitcoin, but Bitcoin yield hit 72%. Remember, that's a made-up thing. Michael Saylor made it up. Doesn't exist. It's not a real thing. You don't get yield for holding Bitcoin. You get scathed for holding his stock. But it keeps going up. But you don't own it. Anyway, MicroStrategy just bought 15,350 more Bitcoin, spending $1.5 billion, and now holds 439,000 Bitcoin in total. They paid for the latest haul by selling 3.88 million shares of MicroStrategy. I want you to think about that for a second. Okay, people enter into the convertible notes. They give Michael money. Michael takes that money, then he sells shares and gets more money. Who's he selling to? Well, the shareholders. Yeah, dilution, obviously dilution. So he's diluting the shares. He's taking that money. He's taking senior note holders' money. He's buying Bitcoin. Well, not all Bitcoin. He's taking some of that money and paying off old senior note holders, which sounds a little Ponzi-esque, taking in new money to pay old money. Wait, never mind all that. That clearly indictable reality. So, okay, I buy more Bitcoin, I sell more shares, I buy more Bitcoin, I sell more shares. Do the shareholders own any Bitcoin? Brandon?
Not even any. None.
Now,
None.
what happens if it goes wrong? Microsailor gets stuck. Their company is insolvent. What happens to that Bitcoin? Do the shareholders get the Bitcoin, the ones that keep buying in and giving him money, or do the senior note holders get that Bitcoin?
I don't know if anybody gets the Bitcoin.
Well, the senior note holders would.
Senior note holders would before the shareholders.
Or they would get the results of it through insolvency.
Right.
But the equity holders get nothing. This is the crux of it. He's mining equity holders to finance this thing, and the other money that comes in on top, the convertible notes, they don't have any downside risk other than that Bitcoin could cascade downward. Does that make sense? So how does MicroStrategy fund its obsession? The funding for these massive purchases comes from an October 30th sales agreement with a bunch of heavy-hitting financial institutions, including TD Securities, Barclays, and Cantor Fitzgerald. The agreement allows MicroStrategy to issue and sell up to $21 billion worth of its Class A common stock over time. You're buying, they're selling. They're buying Bitcoin, but it ain't your Bitcoin. By December 15th, the company had already resold shares worth $1.54 billion, leaving $7.65 billion in available shares for future sales. These sales have proven to be a reliable pipeline for fueling MicroStrategy's Bitcoin buying spree. Think about that. Hopefully nobody here. I mean, I can't really shit on the stock because the stock has gone up, mostly because people are stupid. But the stock has gone up for 4 years. It's done a 21x over 4 years. That's pretty dang good. It outpaces just about everything in the S&P 500. Mm-hmm. So you did good. I just worry that the price of Bitcoin will get so high that the money that he conjures up from selling stock won't be enough to move the price. And then there's a problem. Then the senior note holders are like, I'm not going to do it. Then he can't keep selling shares because the price of the shares is going to start coming back down to meet the actual asset value, the NAV. And at that point, there's nothing left. What do they just convert to an ETF? The whole thing?
At par value, right?
I don't know what they do at that point. I'm sure they have a plan because he's a whack job, but he's not a complete idiot. And he seems to have some understanding of math. I'm sure they realize that there is an end to this. They just imagine the end is somewhere around $1 million of Bitcoin, I think. That'd be my guess. What do you think, Brandon? When does this?
He thinks, he thinks $13 million of Bitcoin by what, 2045 is what he said. I don't think
as red as his face is, he's going to have, he will have carped out way before that.
Yeah, for him, I don't think he sees an end in this. He thinks it'll go up forever. So maybe that's his math. That's how he's working his math. If the Ponzi never ends in his mind, it never has to end. So that's why he thinks he'll be buying $1 billion a day. So anyway, we are serendipitously close to 107,000.
Holy shnikes.
So that's the wall that we're talking about. Let's go.
All right, the wall has been called.
Let's go.
The wall has been called.
We're going behind the proverbial wall now to continue the broadcast privately for the digital investors and digital private clients. If you'd like to join us, simply go to nickblacknext.com and subscribe to one of our plans and immediately take advantage of our library of tools, tactics, and information. It's all designed to help you learn, grow, and manage your portfolio like a pro. Join us now.
did, Nick. You did. You screwed it up. We did. We hit 107,000 as we were going behind the wall. That was supposed to be live. Dang it.
I mean, every minute, technically, we've been at an all-time high pretty much throughout the show.
No, as Sam would say, every minute we're over our all-time high.
Yeah, we're over the all-time high.
Yes. So every second throughout the show, we've been at an all-time high. Not for other assets, though. Not for other, just Bitcoin. Other assets, down. Fat down.
Yeah. Maybe we'll push it. Let me push it over to markets so that we can take a look at this in context.
Yes. Fat down.
Oh, interesting. I'm surprised. I guess I'm a little bit surprised that Ethereum is just so quiet. I mean, it's good that it's quiet at,
No, it doesn't make sense. No, you should be surprised.
4,000, but it does seem a little weird.
It's beyond weird. How did it fall back even from 4,000? This thing should be 4,500.
Probably.
The fact that Bitcoin's so high. So I guess there's a record amount of shorts on Bitcoin right now, like records. I could find the graph, but I guess it's like excruciatingly record sum. Like people are trying to still short this thing.
Weren't the shorts coming in around 203? Or around 103? They've got to be getting just destroyed right now.
Yeah, I don't know why. That's why I'm like, where's the short squeeze on Ethereum? This should have happened already, and it hasn't. So this is really strange to me. Whew. Don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know why people keep. People are just fucking stupid. I mean, I don't know why. Why would you short this? Like, why would you do it? Do you think that over history? So for 2009. 2000 about to be 25. So for 17 years straight, this thing has gone up and to the right for the most part. There's been a couple little setbacks, but for 17 fucking years, up and to the right, the most appreciating asset in human existence. That means since the fucking Stone Age, since people were making fire with sticks and stuff, and you're gonna short it because you know something no one else knows. It is mind-boggling what people think. I mean, it's just, you know what it is? I don't think anybody thinks I think it's just all gambling. It's all gambling at this point. Right? Like they're like, well, if it does go down, I get rich. If not, I'm still poor. I'm still broke. And you go, well, who's shorting Bitcoin? It's not Joe Sixpack. Other than Peter Schiff. Who's shorting Bitcoin, really? I would love to see the makeup of those investors. It's got to be miners locking in profit. That's the only thing I can think.
No, that doesn't add up either because the miners are now buying Bitcoin. Riot's buying, Mara's buying.
Some of them are, but part of your normal.
Yeah, no, the big ones though, like the big ones are buying. So I mean, you got these.
We sold as a normal like at the refinery. Every single day we sold gold.
Yeah.
And we would sell it through the futures markets because we didn't want to get stuck in the 3 days it took us to take the gold from jewelry into gold bars and tender it to the market. We didn't want to get screwed because if the price went all crazy, we would lose all that money. So we would immediately, every 100 ounces, we'd sell a contract. Every 100 ounces, sell a contract. Every 1,000 ounces of silver, contract. Every 1,000 ounces of iridium, contract. Platinum, contract. And we weren't anti-metal. We just were pro don't go bankrupt.
Right.
So I could see miners constituting a big portion of that. I don't know who else is shorting. Like, who is record shorting this thing that keeps going in a straight line? Like at 70,000, 75,000, 80,000, 85,000, 90,000, 95,000, 100,000, 105,000. Like, what the hell is wrong with people? Are you stupid? Gamblers going to gamble.
Yeah, they are going to gamble. Somebody talked about, you want to see the ETH Bitcoin chart really quickly? Here, I'll show this. So this is, I mean, it's bad. I mean, it's shockingly bad. It doesn't make any sense. I'm pretty heavy ETH now. It turned out like I had a lot of NFTs double like over the last week, and so then I cashed those out. I have a lot of ETH now, and it's like I don't know why it keeps going down in the way that it does. It really does not look pretty. I think it should catch up at some point. But the only thing running, I mean, even if you compare this against Bitcoin, everything's pretty dang red. I guess XRP's up, Doge is up, a little bit is up, or whatever. But everything's
XRP
pretty
is
red.
up for the funniest reasons. You know why? They're launching their stablecoin RLUSD.
Yeah, in December 12th or whatever, or
Yeah.
December.
And they're having to warn everyone. They're like, hey, don't go invest in the stablecoin. That's not what it's meant for. This is how
RLUSD to $5. Let's go.
This is how stupid this community is.
Like, hey, just don't buy. You know it doesn't move, right? You know it only stays at $1, right? They have to like educate them on a stable coin.
I mean, it's mind-boggling, man. When you get a community of douchebags together.
Boy, I don't know. I mean, we're having record inflows today. I bet you money we're gonna have a really big inflow day because a lot of the boomers go over there. They go buy their ETFs. And they're going to be purchasing Bitcoin like mad because they see it running up to 106, 107,000 now. So they're going to be buying because they only buy on up days for some reason, right? That's when they start to buy the most. And Ethereum had its biggest day ever in the ETFs last week and still is down.
Yeah.
How? That's why I think it's still the right play because how?
I don't know. I feel like we don't have a clear picture of the correlation between the ETFs and Ethereum. Because if a bunch of people come into the ETFs have to go purchase Ethereum and warehouse it. I feel like we're just not seeing that.
Yeah, I mean,
it is
happening. Had
it's
record amount of updates in a row.
That I don't get it.
Yeah. Oh, it's not happening. There's no reason Ethereum to be.
All the SNet stuff is manufactured pricing by them. They Mario and his group of idiots do it on their own in little bitty. Remember, these are assets that have like $20 a day of volume. It's pretty easy for them to manufacture the price. They're probably looking at rolling Sequoia into either the SDAO, SFI bullshit or the ASI bullshit. Either way, that price is bullshit. Thank you. This is a public service announcement.
Yay.
So yeah, Howard, I don't know what you're talking about, buddy. I haven't been able to follow all this. My computer's being so weird. It keeps wanting to turn the music app on. I even tried to get rid of it. It won't even let me get rid of it. Apple Music. No one gives a shit about Apple Music. Anyway, so I don't know. I don't know why Ethereum ceases to track, but I feel like there's some mechanical piece that we just don't understand. That's the only thing I can think of. I don't understand why Ethereum's not at or above its all-time highs, but I feel confident that it will. So I'm not worried about it. I'm perplexed. Yeah. And who knows, maybe you got people at various places where they're exiting Ethereum to more risky assets. I don't know, to kind of like double gamble. I don't know. I know that the high of Bitcoin this morning was 103.3, and we ain't at 103 anymore. Or no, not yesterday morning. Then it got 105, 106 last night, right?
Yeah. Like
107 now.
What the heck?
Yeah. But yeah, it's funny because I look at my portfolio and it's not higher.
No, it's not. Mine's not either. It's not even, but I mean, that whatever. It is what it is. Just doesn't make sense to me, is all. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think you should be interested in Chainlink. I mean, unless it interests you, because in Chainlink, you don't need the token. There's no reason to own the token. This is one of the problems with Chainlink from the very beginning. Now, it may be they're doing some project with Hedera, another company that no one cares about, and they're solving some problem that's not really a problem that no one cares about because there's nothing else they can do. Oracles are not unique or rare or interesting. having trusted sources of information to push that data into smart contracts is something that every single layer one grapples with. They're not all going, oh, well, I guess our only choice is Chainlink. I mean, a small handful of companies use Chainlink, Oracle data, great. There are other Oracles. These companies, these new layer ones, just they build this stuff into their ecosystem from the jump. So again, it's kind of an ad hoc thing. Chainlink is an ad hoc fix for some of the technical weirdnesses of Solidity. That's kind of like what I would think. And yeah, they've tried to do other things for other protocols, but it's mostly a fail because you don't need the token. And that's the problem. If you don't need the token to do the thing, then you got to ask yourself, wait, why token? To make Sergey rich. And if you look at the behavior of their developers, their team founder developers, they have this little picture which shows like the tokens going to the wallet, the tokens being distributed to developers, and immediately to the market. It's as fast as they can sell them. These guys sell everything they have as fast as they can sell it. I'm not buying that token. Ever. I don't care if it goes up. I'm not going to buy something that the dudes that created it don't want anything to do with it. And you don't even need it in the ecosystem. That's all I have to say about that. Okay. Is there anything?
Yeah.
What would you be buying if you were dollar cost averaging today?
Well, if I was DCAing today, let's see here. Well, I did want to point out the honey badger in the mix here. Did you already talk about this?
No.
Sui, what the flip? Doing decent. Obviously, anytime it seems like Bitcoin goes down, Sui really doesn't like even take a dip much. And it's done really, really well in the upswings. So, oh my gosh. I don't know if I'd buy more right here though. Sui, maybe I would. If I was going to buy anything right here on this list, it would be, well, still Ethereum just is boggling my mind. I cannot understand why it hasn't caught up. But I would probably lean towards, even though it's had a big run, I'd lean towards Sui.
No,
that's about it.
Not me.
That's about it. That's about it.
Me. I think optimism still makes sense. Look, it hasn't done much in a week. It's been pretty flat. And it usually runs with Ethereum, and Ethereum hasn't run. I mean, obviously it's a layer 2 for Ethereum. It's the main, layer 2 that people are building on the op stack and all that. So I think to me, that looks like something I would add. Maybe as a kind of lottery play, Graph token pre their GRC20 or whatever they're going to call it, their layer 2 launch. I bet that gets a pop. Like, I would be surprised if that thing couldn't crack 50 cents on the news on that kind of layer 2 laydown. Matter of fact, we don't even know when that is yet. We're still kind of waiting.
No, not yet. Yeah. But I did tell, and I told Nick this, but some of the things that we're using for Node Market actually relies on the graph. So we're actually using the graph for real life integrations.
Woo whoop.
Kind of cool.
So I think optimism and graph to me could be investable. Optimism is a long-term play. Graph is a flip for their little announcement. Although you never know. I mean, you never know on that one. What they're not is an AI company. Don't get caught up in that bullshit. Jupiter, unfortunately, I still don't have my tokens, so I couldn't have been selling into this. I would have been selling into this, all of it, but I don't have tokens, so I can't do it.
How many you got? 10 more days, 9 more days, 8 more days. Actually, you're in good shape. Oh, I should pull that tracker up real quick and we can look at it. Hold on. Let me see.
Yeah, so I want to get. I hope people have not beat us to the punch on that exit.
Well, the unlock dates. You see, we had that tracker up.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're still nothing's changed and not a lot. I mean, it's still, if you look at the graphs here, I mean, you still. Oh, my bad. I think I hit the wrong at the same time you did. I mean, your dates still are. Oh wait, a lot unlocked tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay,
shit.
so we'll see some. No, we'll see some tomorrow, and then
Yep.
you see the big unlocks the 25th, and I think you beat that one. So you're the 24th. The biggest one's January 3rd still, and then it just kind of trickles. All these are trickles. Actually, the January 9th one
It's
so
almost as big as the one
it's
tomorrow.
almost as big as the one tomorrow. So more and more people are kind of steadily unlocking. We still have only 64 million. This has been the same for a couple days now. 64 million in total unlock. So we'll see how this goes tomorrow. Maybe we'll see a little bit of a dip or a blip. We'll see.
We need a pump.
Well, it's just like anything else. Like Bitcoin is stealing the show right now. Let it do its thing, and then everything else follows a week later or a couple days later. I think it's a couple days. I think we still see a pump up until Christmas. Or do you think the pump's done? Are you done? Are you selling 25% right now?
What, of Jupiter? Or of
no, everything. Yeah.
No, I'm waiting for a rally, a Christmas kind of rally.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I don't think we've had our rally yet. Bitcoin is rallying, but I think everything else still will rally. And then you can get your little, if you want to take some exits, just remember taxes are an implication and things like that. So.
Yeah. Let's see. What else? Does anything look juicy?
Juicy. Do you have any PIF network? Do you have any PIF or no?
Maybe 56 cents. Remember it got up to 75 cents and then came back down?
Yeah.
So maybe
it spiked for 75 cents for like 8 seconds.
Yeah. That would be about it for me. I mean, I think you just still, I'm kind of sitting on my hands. Nothing dropped low enough over the weekend to go back into it. You know, some of the stuff I was trading, like Aptos. No. Aptos didn't get low enough. I need it in the low 13s, and I couldn't catch it. And so I'm just sitting there. I'm kind of out. I'm not out. I have my original position plus my profit coins, but I don't have that trading stash. That's just sitting in cash. My optimism, I had sold a little bit at 260, my little trading stash, but you can go for 9 cents, 10 cents. No, it needs 20 to 30 cents to make it really worth it up at 25. You need at least, I think on a dip, you need at least grab 10%. And it hasn't really given up 10% since it hit 260. So I don't know. That's the one I'm waffling on.
Yeah.
Fetch is where I pretty much bought it. I bought it at 169. It's at 172. I had an order in to sell at 185 and it hit 185. Ooh. and it didn't get it done. It was on Kraken.
Oh, dang it, dude. I sold mine at 180. My little buy that I did. I think I bought it like 165 actually, and then sold at 180.
So I couldn't get out. So I'm just stuck there. Yeah, so I'm in between. It's weird watching Bitcoin go and hit all-time highs, and there's not a trade I can make. I can't buy or sell. I'm handcuffed.
It's so weird. Bitcoin's at 107 and everything else just chilling. And Bitcoin's up 9% this week. That's a move. That's a move.
Yeah.
Everything else chilling.
Yeah. But maybe it's a lot of wait and see. I think a lot of people are waiting for the next person to do something. Everybody's waiting for everyone else to do something.
Yep.
I think if we saw Ethereum, bang past 4,100 or something like that, everybody go, oh shit, here it comes. But languishing around 4,000, I mean, it's better than, it's up 25% since a month ago. That's outperforming Bitcoin.
Yay.
Which is cool.
What?
But it has not done anything. In a week, it's up. In the week, 2.5%. In a week. And one and a third of that was today. So it has done nothing. It has done zero.
Painful.
Zero.
Fun to watch though, right?
Howard, stop it, man. God. Let's see. Do we have a date on the Leab launch? So they were tentatively saying January 16th. I don't know because they're kind of doing the same thing that that the game company's doing, in that they're trying to secure a couple of tier 1 exchange listings. I don't know what that looks like because I don't know what goes on behind the scenes at those exchanges. I know money. I know you have to pay people. You have to give people money. They're like, no, we don't charge a fee. You just have to give us 10% of your tokens. Like, 10% of the company, which that's no fee, but just 10% of our runway forever. Like, yeah, no big deal. You want to be on Coinbase, don't you? Not
yes,
that
you
bad.
do. Yes,
Not
you
that
do.
bad.
Somewhat.
Okay. So there's that. So I don't really know what to invest in right now. And I don't know when this launch is going to start, but they were thinking third or fourth. Matter of fact, the last thing they told me is here. I'll go to the, we're building those pools right now. Brandon, can you talk a minute about those?
I mean, we're working out the kinks, but I mean, the basics of it's going to be very similar to the NFT claim. You'll stake your tokens, and then every month or whatever, they'll do the deposit, and you can go claim whatever percent of the rewards are in the pool for your eligible tokens. And eligible meaning you had to have been in the pool at least 15 days. If you don't, then you miss the claim for that month, and you just have to wait till the next month to get it. So it's better just to stay in the pool. So it's going to be pretty slick.
Yeah, not only that, but it's going to be paying a percentage of revenue that's generated by the company. And this is a company that has actual clients.
Yeah.
And will derive revenue. So
it's weird. Like, stock doesn't, it's like people always say, go buy stock. I'm like, well, do I get a percent of Apple's revenue? No, you just hope that number go up, right? So this is kind of cool that you get actual percent of revenue. Yay.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited about it.
It should be pretty good. I'm pretty excited about the Leap launch. It might be one of the better ones that happen over the next quarter.
Ooh, it could be a good one. Yeah, it could be a good one. So let's see. We'll be able to stake Leap. Yeah, you heard the last 5 minutes of Brandon talking, right? That was what that was. So yes. Okay. The last thing he told me, and this is he said, we're still working on the higher quality central exchange listings. Unfortunately, this is probably going to push back our launch date. One option we're looking at is the week after inauguration, and then immediately before the Chinese New Year, so around January 25th. We do realize this is a delay, but centralized exchange listings are important. We're doing more promo this week at Rico Blockchain Week, where we're the main sponsor with DNA and Tokenize. All right. That's what we got. That's the latest and greatest there. Yeah. I mean, I guess we just kind of stare at prices until things change. I mean, Ethereum ain't doing nothing.
But it could, like, we could see any second, like, honestly, we could see a move in Ethereum. Like, that's what I'm waiting for, because I believe there's going to be a fat move in Ethereum very soon. As long as Bitcoin holds up here. If Bitcoin tanks, then it's going to tank. But if Bitcoin holds up here, there's going to be a rotation happen, and Ethereum's going to go up to 4,500 real quick.
It's funny. It's only been over the year. It's only half. It's only performed half of what Bitcoin has.
Yeah, is that funny? You think that's funny?
It is funny.
I don't think it's funny.
It's funny as heavy as I am in
Ethereum's.
But on the other side of it, we know it's one of those things that's lingering in the future. So I'm not worried about sitting on Ethereum. It is kind of nice to get a little bit, like from Coinbase, you get a little bit of yield from their staking. So that's kind of cool. It's like 3.21%, something nominal. But every now and then you have another Ethereum in your wallet. You're like, oh, it's cool.
Ethereums.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at. I've still got my Sui actually over. I'm staking it at Bitrue. Well, staking. I'm marketing it. I'm getting marketing rewards at Bitrue of 4%. I don't know if I want to go actively try to stake that. Oh, that's a question I had with the JLP, with JLP. Is there anything else, for instance, is there anywhere else to put it?
Oh, like to restake your JLP?
Yeah.
Like, so you're already getting the rewards, but you want to get more rewards. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let me look into that. I understand what you're saying. Let me look into it.
Yeah.
There probably is. There probably is.
Rewards on rewards. So that's kind of my last thing. My last note will be that when my assets get cleared, the Jupiter tokens, I am converting them. I'm swapping them into JLP. And that's where I will wait until after all of these dumps, until after whatever unkindness comes from this 700 million that's getting bukkakied all over the faces of the whole Jupiter ecosystem.
Oh, the other thing too, and I know I got a meeting with Hypercycle right now, but we should, I don't know how much of the 700 million you're going to get. Probably not a lot. Probably, like, I'm not going to get a lot.
It's going to all the traders.
Yeah, it's going on all the traders and stuff. And I mean, I traded a little bit on Jupe, but not like a ton to like merit anything for any reason. Because there's guys that traded like millions and millions and millions on there. So it's like a little bit, but that's fine. So with the Jupe, I think top stakers will get an allocation of the Pengu drop that's happening tomorrow. So I'll kind of keep you guys apprised of that situation. I don't know how much, but it might be something. And it's going to be probably a better drop than the Bluefin drop. So.
And that'll be based on the you have to go do all the claimy bullshit.
It won't be as bad as the blue one by any means, because it's straight on the Solana wallet. They're dropping on Solana, even though it's an Ethereum NFT. They're dropping on Solana. And so I actually think, one, it'll either be part of the ASR, which would be the best in my opinion, or two, it'll just be like a claim that'll be fairly simple. So we'll see. I'll let you guys know. And then I'll let you know if it's worth it too, because if it's not worth it, it's like Nick said, I'm not going to go do it for $100 because that's risque.
Well, it will. How high can it go before it becomes too expensive to use? I think that's part of their push behind the scenes to have these multi-chain wallets and functionality where you wouldn't need to go. For instance, you could do an Ethereum transaction and it would go run it across the cheapest layer 2 that they trust right then, so that you would get the best of both worlds. That's what the future looks like. I just don't know how quick that future comes, but that's the way that Ethereum, those guys are talking. That's the future they want. So how expensive would it be? I mean, it's already quite expensive. And there's a point, I think, where Ethereum just becomes an investment asset, kind of like gold, like the silver to gold, to Bitcoin being gold. And then I don't think that would be weird. I think in people's minds, they're okay with that. And then, maybe Solana is copper, for all those people that make bullshit trinket jewelry. So, yeah, that's kind of what, but who knows? I mean, where gas fees get expensive is when a lot of people are using it, not necessarily that Ethereum is expensive. It's that network congestion makes things expensive. And then you're paying in terms of an expensive asset, ergo the weird paradigm of coin go up, costs go up. I don't want to use coin go down, costs go down. I want to use coin. Whoa. So there we are. All right.
Yeah.
And no. You think, Beth, I want you to just take a second. I want all you guys to take a second. Just think about this before we call it a day.
Uh-oh.
Do you think that something like that, we would keep it a secret? We would just randomly forget to discuss it. Anyone? Oh, Brandon, did you hear about the Bitcoin fork?
What?
Yeah,
No.
Exactly. No, because there ain't one.
Oh, I see where you're headed with this.
Yeah.
I see. That wasn't our main topic.
ADA is like the polishing thing that you polish silver with and then throw it away. Okay. Yes, there's no new news. The only news right now is just I guess sit back and watch Bitcoin perpetually urinate all over all these guys that are shorting it, which I still don't know. I still want to dig into that. Something's weird there. I don't know. I don't get it. Anyway, I guess there's a lot of things I don't get. I don't get how to make my cats not destroy my house. I don't get that.
Gosh, I feel bad for you.
A lot I don't get.
That sucks. There's gonna be a real talk with those cats later on today. I can just feel it. It's gonna be real fast.
It's gonna get real. Okay, let's call it a day. Stay in school. Don't do drugs. Don't do anything. My poor and solvent drunk story meth grandmother, or Brandon wouldn't do. Brandon, what's that old weather like up there now?
You wouldn't even believe it, but it's cold. I know you're not. I know you were thinking of warm, but it's cold.
We are gonna be mid 70s in the valley.
That's bull crap. For real?
I'm gonna have to put on some suntan lotion so I don't burn.
Yeah, whatever.
Terrified, wandering mind, the seams have come undone. You've been telling lies to these eyes as if they'd never seen the sun. Now you've let your guard down and your heart is exposed. Now you've let your guard down, but how could you have known that I'm the big fish round here? You're a small fish. I could make you disappear. You should know this. I'm the big fish round here. You're a small fish.